Welcome to Beyond Vision Mindset, where we explore how ancient wisdom can guide us to unlock our true potential in all aspects of life. In today's video, we're going to explore something that touches us all: love. Modern dating can feel overwhelming, uncertain, and full of challenges. But with the timeless teachings of Stoicism, we can find a sense of clarity, peace, and control as we navigate the complex world of relationships. Before we dive into these powerful Stoic principles, I want to remind you that Hope We Give is offering support to those in need. If you're seeking guidance and wisdom, this channel is here to help you every step of the way. Hit that subscribe button and let's unlock a stronger, wiser version of you, one that is empowered to make better choices in love and relationships. Now, let's get started with the Stoics' Guide to Modern Dating. 1. Embrace the power of choice. The foundation of Stoic philosophy is built on the idea that we cannot control everything that happens around us. This is especially true in dating. We can't control the people we meet, the connections we make, or how others choose to act. But the Stoics taught us that we do have complete control over one crucial thing: our response. In dating, this principle becomes incredibly empowering. Every time you face a new connection or a challenging moment in your dating life, remember that your reaction is entirely in your hands. You have the power to decide how much emotional energy to invest, how to communicate your needs, and how to handle disappointment or rejection. When you embrace this power of choice, you stop being a passive participant in your relationships and become an active creator of your experiences. By recognizing that you control your emotions and actions, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. For example, if a relationship doesn't work out the way you hoped, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling hurt or defeated. But by remembering the Stoic principle that we can control only our reactions, you can rise above the situation and see it for what it is: an opportunity to learn, grow, and refine your approach to love. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by emotions and external events, you begin to embrace each challenge as a valuable learning experience. Whether the relationship is positive or negative, you're always growing, adapting, and gaining wisdom. And this wisdom becomes the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling connections. So, as you navigate the modern dating world, remember, you have the power of choice. Choose how you respond. Choose what you invest in. Choose to protect your peace and emotional well-being. By doing so, you'll approach love with a calm and confident mindset, ready to take on whatever comes your way. 2. Accept impermanence. One of the most powerful teachings from Stoic philosophy is the recognition of the impermanence of all things. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, frequently reflected on the transient nature of life. Everything, every person, every relationship, and every experience is temporary. This realization, while often uncomfortable, is a source of great strength. In the context of modern dating, this principle is incredibly freeing. When we enter relationships with the understanding that nothing lasts forever, we stop holding on to unrealistic expectations. We no longer search for the perfect, everlasting relationship that will somehow provide us with eternal happiness. Instead, we embrace the beauty of the present moment, knowing that every relationship, no matter how brief, holds its own lessons and growth opportunities. Dating today often comes with a rush to find the one, someone to complete us and fulfill all our emotional needs. But this mindset can lead to unhealthy attachments and unrealistic expectations. When you accept the impermanence of life, you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. You understand that love is not a permanent possession, but a shared experience. Every relationship, whether it's a brief encounter or a long-lasting partnership, is valuable in its own right. This acceptance of impermanence also frees you from the fear of loss. You won't become paralyzed by the thought of losing someone or the worry that a relationship might end prematurely. You'll be able to fully invest in the present moment, without the weight of anxious attachment hanging over you. If a relationship ends, you'll have the wisdom to recognize that it wasn't meant to last forever, but it served its purpose in your life. Instead of feeling devastated, you'll feel grateful for what the experience brought you, whether that's learning about your own needs, gaining insight into your boundaries, or simply sharing joy with another person for a time. This shift in perspective can also help you approach dating with less pressure. Often, when we enter a new relationship, we try to immediately make it something more than it is. We push too hard, expecting that this relationship will fulfill all our desires, fix all our flaws, and provide a sense of completeness. But Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment doesn't come from external sources. It comes from within. We are not incomplete because we're not in a relationship, we are whole in ourselves. This understanding allows us to date not out of desperation or need, but out of genuine desire for connection and mutual growth. When you truly internalize the impermanence of everything around you, you begin to see dating as a fluid, natural experience. Relationships flow in and out of our lives, and we are not defined by the ones that stay or the ones that leave. This also helps alleviate the societal pressures to be in a relationship at all costs. In a world where everyone seems to be searching for the perfect match, Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. The perfect relationship doesn't exist, and we don't need it to be happy. What we need is self-awareness, acceptance, and the courage to let go when the time is right. Moreover, recognizing impermanence encourages gratitude. Every relationship, no matter how short-lived, is a chance to learn and grow. Rather than focusing on what you might have lost, you start appreciating what you gained. Even the most painful endings offer opportunities to build resilience, to sharpen your understanding of what you need and want in future relationships. It's through these challenges that we refine ourselves, becoming more aligned with our true values, desires, and goals. The Stoic idea of memento mori, remembering that life is short and death is inevitable, applies here as well. In dating, we're reminded that time is precious, and every moment spent with another person is a unique experience. This awareness can deepen your appreciation for the time you spend together, even if it doesn't last forever. You begin to live more fully, embracing each connection for what it is, without the weight of needing it to be something it's not. This lesson in impermanence ultimately leads to freedom. You no longer feel bound to the idea of a perfect relationship. You no longer fear the end of a relationship, because you know that endings are a natural part of life. Instead, you learn to live in harmony with the natural ebb and flow of love, and that peace of mind becomes your foundation as you navigate the dating world. 3. Cultivate emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is one of the core strengths that Stoicism teaches us to develop. It is the ability to endure difficult emotions, setbacks, and external chaos without being overwhelmed by them. In modern dating, where emotions run high and the risks of vulnerability are ever present, cultivating emotional resilience is not just helpful, it's essential. Dating often stirs a wide range of emotions, from excitement and anticipation to fear and disappointment. You may feel elated by a new connection, only to be met with confusion, heartbreak, or rejection later. These emotional highs and lows can create a roller coaster effect, leaving you feeling drained and uncertain. But Stoicism offers a powerful remedy: the practice of detachment and emotional control. To build emotional resilience in dating, start by recognizing that your feelings are not facts. The Stoics believed that we are not enslaved by our emotions, but rather, we can choose how to respond to them. For instance, when you experience rejection or a breakup, it's natural to feel sad or discouraged. But rather than allowing these feelings to define your reality, you can step back and view them as temporary states, emotions that will pass with time. You are not your feelings. You are the observer of those feelings, and you have the power to decide how much weight to give them. The key to emotional resilience is to remain grounded in your inner strength, regardless of external circumstances. When dating doesn't go as planned, take a step back and assess the situation with objectivity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? This shift in perspective allows you to face challenges with calmness and clarity, rather than allowing the turbulence of emotions to cloud your judgment. For example, let's say you're dating someone who ultimately isn't right for you. It can be tempting to spiral into self-doubt, questioning your worth or what you could have done differently. The Stoic approach is to remind yourself that your worth is not determined by the outcome of any single relationship. You are a whole, complete person, regardless of whether this particular relationship succeeds or fails. By focusing on your self-worth and understanding that rejection is not a reflection of your value, you begin to navigate dating with greater emotional resilience. You can handle rejection with grace, learn from the experience, and move forward without letting it define your self-esteem. Another aspect of emotional resilience is managing expectations. Often, we enter relationships with specific hopes and assumptions about what the future will hold. We expect our partner to meet certain needs, fulfill certain desires, or behave in a certain way. When these expectations are not met, we can feel disappointed, hurt, or even angry. But the Stoics remind us that external outcomes are beyond our control. The only thing we can truly control is our response. By releasing rigid expectations and approaching dating with a flexible, open mind, we develop emotional resilience. We learn to accept people for who they are, without demanding that they fit into preconceived boxes. Furthermore, emotional resilience in dating involves the practice of patience. Love and relationships take time to unfold, and often, we are in a rush to label things or to speed up the process. But the Stoics teach us that patience is a virtue. There is no need to rush love or force connection. By taking your time, remaining patient, and allowing relationships to develop naturally, you can avoid the anxiety and pressure that often accompany modern dating. Part of building resilience is also acknowledging that pain and discomfort are inevitable parts of life. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free from hardship, but rather teaches us how to endure these challenges with strength and grace. In dating, this means accepting that pain, whether from rejection, heartbreak, or disappointment, is an unavoidable part of the process. However, it's how we respond to that pain that matters. Rather than dwelling in it or allowing it to consume us, we can choose to face it head-on, learn from it, and grow stronger as a result. This resilience doesn't just apply to setbacks. It also applies to how we handle the successes and positive moments in dating. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new relationship, becoming overly dependent on the joy it brings. Stoicism teaches us not to become too attached to the highs or too devastated by the lows. We are encouraged to maintain an even keel, enjoying life's pleasures without becoming attached to them, and facing its hardships without letting them define us. Emotional resilience, therefore, is about finding balance, being able to navigate both the ups and downs of dating without losing sight of your inner peace. Lastly, building emotional resilience means practicing self-care and prioritizing your emotional well-being. This involves engaging in activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, whether that's through exercise, meditation, journaling, or simply spending time with loved ones. By fostering your own emotional health, you create a strong foundation from which to face the emotional challenges of dating. You can approach relationships with a full heart, rather than entering them from a place of emotional depletion. When you cultivate emotional resilience, dating no longer feels like an unpredictable emotional rollercoaster. Instead, it becomes a journey of growth, self-awareness, and empowerment. You learn to approach each relationship, whether it's a fleeting encounter or a long-term commitment, with wisdom, grace, and emotional strength. 4. Set healthy boundaries. One of the most crucial aspects of modern dating that Stoicism emphasizes is the importance of boundaries. Boundaries are not just physical, they encompass emotional, mental, and spiritual space as well. In dating, just as in any other area of life, the ability to set and maintain healthy boundaries is an essential skill for preserving your well-being and ensuring that your relationships are grounded in respect, equality, and mutual understanding. The Stoics taught that in order to live virtuously, one must have a clear sense of self and a strong connection to one's own values and principles. This self-awareness forms the foundation of setting boundaries. When you are clear about who you are, what you stand for, and what you need, you are more capable of communicating those needs in relationships and dating situations. Without clear boundaries, you risk losing yourself in the process of trying to please others or accommodate their desires at the expense of your own emotional health. In dating, boundaries may manifest in many different ways. They could be related to time, how much time you are willing to invest in a relationship, or how much time you are willing to spend with a partner or potential partner. They could involve emotional boundaries, how much emotional energy you're willing to invest or share with someone, and how much you expect in return. Physical boundaries may also be involved, and these boundaries are essential for creating a sense of safety and respect in any relationship. These are all areas where Stoicism can help guide you in making wise, empowered decisions about your own well-being. Setting boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself from harm. It's also about respecting others and cultivating mutual respect. The Stoic approach to relationships isn't one of manipulation or control but of mutual respect, self-respect, and empathy. By setting clear boundaries, you communicate to others that you value yourself and your needs, and you encourage them to do the same. This also creates space for honest communication, where both parties can express their desires, needs, and limitations openly and without fear of judgment. A relationship built on such transparency fosters trust, understanding, and a deeper connection. For instance, let's say you are in the early stages of dating someone, and they begin to pressure you for more commitment or intimacy than you feel comfortable with. In this situation, having a strong sense of self and clear boundaries is critical. Rather than succumbing to the pressure, you can assert your needs calmly and firmly, explaining that you need more time to build trust and emotional connection before taking the next step. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's an essential practice in maintaining your integrity and protecting your emotional space. Setting boundaries also helps prevent emotional burnout, which can be common in relationships that lack clear limits. In the early stages of dating, it's easy to get swept up in the excitement of a new connection, but it's crucial to take a step back and assess whether your emotional needs are being met. Are you constantly overextending yourself to please the other person? Are you compromising your own values in an effort to avoid conflict or keep the relationship going? The Stoics would advise you to examine these dynamics with clarity and objectivity, ensuring that you aren't sacrificing your own well-being in pursuit of a relationship that doesn't align with your true values. Moreover, emotional and psychological boundaries help to maintain balance in relationships. Stoicism teaches us that we are responsible for our own emotions, and this responsibility extends to our interactions with others. If you enter a relationship expecting someone else to fix your problems, fulfill all your emotional needs, or offer a sense of identity, you risk placing undue pressure on that person and the relationship itself. Boundaries are about creating space for both partners to be their own, complete individuals, with their own sense of purpose, autonomy, and emotional independence. Relationships thrive when both people maintain a healthy sense of self, and this is achieved through clear, respectful boundaries. Setting boundaries also involves knowing when to say no. A common challenge in modern dating is the fear of rejection or conflict, which can lead many to avoid confrontation and acquiesce to things they aren't comfortable with. However, the Stoic mindset encourages us to confront these fears and live according to our values, even if that means saying no to something or someone. When you say no to a relationship that doesn't align with your needs or values, you are not being selfish or rude. You are acting in alignment with your deeper sense of integrity. Your no protects your peace, preserves your energy, and makes room for the right relationship to come into your life. Another important aspect of setting boundaries in dating is recognizing when it's time to walk away from a relationship that no longer serves you. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, a relationship simply isn't aligned with our values, goals, or emotional needs. The Stoics would advise you to act with wisdom and courage when faced with such a decision. It takes great strength to walk away from something or someone that no longer supports your personal growth. But by doing so, you honor your boundaries and create space for a more fulfilling relationship to emerge. This requires both self-awareness and the courage to trust that by protecting your peace and well-being, you are making room for something better. Ultimately, setting healthy boundaries in dating is about creating a life and relationships that are authentic, fulfilling, and grounded in mutual respect. By respecting your own limits and encouraging others to do the same, you foster relationships where both partners can thrive individually and together. Boundaries protect your emotional energy, maintain your integrity, and help you avoid the manipulation or compromise that often occurs in unhealthy relationships. By integrating the Stoic practice of boundary setting into your dating life, you learn to navigate the complexities of relationships with clarity, self-respect, and wisdom. Your boundaries become your shield, allowing you to step confidently into relationships that are aligned with your true self, and giving you the strength to walk away from those that don't serve your highest good. 5. Practice self-sufficiency. In Stoic philosophy, self-sufficiency is a fundamental virtue, a belief in the power of relying on oneself, rather than seeking external validation, approval, or external sources of happiness. In the context of modern dating, this idea can be both empowering and transformative. It teaches us to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and contentment, independent of the romantic relationships we form or any validation we might seek from others. The key to understanding self-sufficiency in dating is recognizing that your happiness, self-worth, and emotional stability cannot be dependent on someone else. Too often, we enter relationships with the expectation that our partner will complete us, fix our problems, or provide us with a sense of fulfillment that we can't seem to find on our own. The Stoics remind us that this kind of thinking places our happiness outside of our own control, which ultimately leads to frustration, disappointment, and unnecessary attachment. When you practice self-sufficiency, you understand that you are whole in yourself. You do not need someone else to validate your worth or make you feel worthy of love. This realization creates freedom, because it allows you to enter relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. You no longer feel desperate to find a partner or fearful of being alone. Instead, you can date with an open heart, seeking a connection not to fulfill your own deficits but to share in a meaningful partnership with someone who complements your life. Self-sufficiency also means learning to take full responsibility for your own emotional well-being. The Stoics believe that external events and other people's actions do not have the power to disturb your peace unless you allow them to. For example, if a relationship doesn't work out, it is easy to blame the other person, feel resentful, or fall into self-pity. But when you cultivate self-sufficiency, you take ownership of your own feelings. You recognize that how you feel is a direct result of your internal responses, not the behavior of others. This sense of ownership over your emotional state gives you the power to remain calm, composed, and centered, regardless of the circumstances. This self-sufficiency is not about shutting yourself off emotionally or avoiding relationships altogether. Rather, it's about approaching relationships with the awareness that your happiness is an inside job. You don't look to someone else to fill the void you might feel inside. Instead, you focus on fulfilling yourself through personal growth, self-love, and building a rich, meaningful life that doesn't rely on anyone else for its value. When you have cultivated your own sense of contentment, you can enter a relationship not from a place of need but from a place of abundance. You will give without expecting to receive, and you will bring your best self into the relationship, rather than looking to the other person to make you happy. This Stoic principle also encourages us to be mindful of attachment. Attachment is often the root cause of emotional turmoil in relationships. We become attached to an outcome, a person, or a particular vision of how things should be, and when these expectations are not met, we experience disappointment or heartache. Self-sufficiency helps us detach from unhealthy attachments by recognizing that the only true constant in life is change. No relationship, no matter how meaningful, is guaranteed to last forever. The Stoic approach encourages us to embrace impermanence with grace, understanding that every relationship serves a purpose, and that purpose is not necessarily to complete us, but to enhance our growth and understanding of ourselves. In the practice of self-sufficiency, the Stoics also encourage us to engage in self-reflection. Through journaling, meditation, and introspection, you can gain a deeper understanding of your own desires, boundaries, fears, and values. This self-awareness becomes the foundation for your interactions with others. When you understand yourself clearly, you are less likely to be swayed by external influences, pressures, or fleeting emotions. Instead, you make decisions based on your deeper sense of self and your personal goals. You won't be swayed by the fleeting rush of excitement or the pressure to please others. Instead, you will take a measured, rational approach to dating, remaining true to your values and your personal needs. In dating, self-sufficiency also teaches us the power of healthy independence. While relationships are about connection and sharing with others, they should never come at the cost of your own individuality. The Stoics believed that each person must maintain their own sense of purpose, their own set of values, and their own inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. In a relationship, this means you should never lose sight of your own identity or personal goals. A healthy relationship is one in which both people bring their unique strengths, perspectives, and passions to the table, while also maintaining their independence and autonomy. Moreover, practicing self-sufficiency can also mean taking the time to nurture your own personal growth and development. In dating, it's easy to get swept up in the dynamics of a relationship and lose sight of your own personal goals. However, when you focus on maintaining a sense of independence and pursuing your own passions, interests, and aspirations, you bring more value and depth to the relationship. Self-sufficiency allows you to grow as an individual while simultaneously growing with your partner. The Stoics also believed that it is essential to avoid seeking validation from external sources, whether that's from a partner, friends, or society at large. We often seek approval from others, especially in relationships, but true self-sufficiency comes from knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. The more you rely on external validation for your worth, the more vulnerable you become to the judgment and actions of others. By developing internal validation, through self-love, self-respect, and personal achievement, you free yourself from the need to seek approval or external reinforcement in your relationships. You know your own value, and you don't need anyone to confirm it. Ultimately, by practicing self-sufficiency, you free yourself from the weight of needing someone else to complete you. You enter dating as a whole person, ready to offer love and connection, but not dependent on it for your happiness. You no longer need to hold on to relationships out of fear of being alone or incomplete. Instead, you approach dating with peace and confidence, knowing that your happiness and fulfillment come from within. 6. Embrace detachment from outcomes. A core Stoic practice that can radically transform how you approach modern dating is the concept of detachment from outcomes. In life, and in relationships, we often invest so much energy and emotion into specific expectations about how things should turn out. However, when we tie our happiness and peace to these expected outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and emotional turmoil. Stoicism teaches us to detach from these outcomes, recognizing that we can only control our actions, not the results. When you approach dating with detachment from outcomes, you free yourself from the need to control or manipulate how the relationship progresses. Whether a relationship becomes something long-term or it fizzles out, your emotional well-being remains intact. You no longer invest every ounce of your identity into the success or failure of a date, a connection, or a relationship. Instead, you focus on the present moment, enjoying the process of getting to know someone without becoming overly attached to where the relationship is heading. Detachment doesn't mean indifference or lack of interest. It means releasing the need for things to unfold in a specific way. If you approach dating with a mindset of detachment, you stop attaching your self-worth to the approval or love of others. You can appreciate the moments of joy, connection, and growth without tying them to a desired future outcome. When you stop focusing on the future and what the relationship should become, you create space to fully appreciate the present and experience each connection for what it is. Take, for example, the concept of dating to find a soulmate. Many people enter dating with the fixed idea that they are looking for the one, someone to complete them or to provide the ultimate sense of fulfillment. But this attachment to an ideal can cloud your judgment and lead to unnecessary pressure in the dating process. Detachment helps you view each connection as an opportunity for growth, rather than as a test to determine if someone is the one. If the relationship works out, great. If it doesn't, you have the strength to accept that it wasn't meant to be and move forward with wisdom and grace. The Stoic practice of detachment doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It's a mindset that can be applied to every area of life. When we stop becoming overly attached to specific outcomes, we remove the emotional weight of failure and disappointment, and instead, find peace in the present moment. This freedom from attachment allows us to navigate dating with more resilience, emotional stability, and maturity. By embracing detachment, you can experience the joy of connection without being held hostage to the fear of loss, rejection, or the need for things to unfold in a particular way. 7. Focus on character over chemistry. In modern dating, there's often a heavy emphasis on chemistry, those intense, immediate sparks that we feel when we meet someone who excites us. While chemistry can be fun and alluring, Stoicism teaches us that what truly matters in a relationship is character. Chemistry may create an initial connection, but it is the alignment of values, the integrity of one's actions, and the strength of character that determines whether the relationship can withstand the test of time. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In dating, this means that chemistry alone is not enough to sustain a healthy relationship. What matters more is how both partners react to challenges, communicate effectively, and maintain their individual virtues of honesty, respect, and patience. When you prioritize character over chemistry, you shift your focus from temporary feelings and infatuations to a deeper, more enduring connection. You begin to ask yourself questions like, does this person show respect for themselves and others? Do they have integrity in their actions? Do they take responsibility for their own growth and happiness? These are the qualities that form the foundation of a meaningful, lasting relationship. Chemistry can fade, but character endures. The relationships that are built on character are those that can weather life's inevitable ups and downs. When you enter dating with an emphasis on shared values and personal integrity, you create space for a deeper, more fulfilling connection, one that goes beyond surface-level attraction and into something that nourishes both individuals emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. By focusing on character over chemistry, you also free yourself from the trap of fleeting attractions and superficial connections. You begin to approach dating with a sense of discernment, choosing partners who align with your values and goals, rather than being swayed by temporary infatuations. This Stoic principle teaches us that true connection isn't about the highs of passion or excitement. It's about shared respect, honesty, and the mutual desire to build something meaningful together. Conclusion: embrace your inner strength in modern dating. As you embark on your journey of modern dating, remember that the Stoic principles can provide you with the inner strength and clarity to navigate this complex terrain with grace, wisdom, and emotional resilience. Through emotional control, boundary setting, self-sufficiency, detachment, and a focus on character, you can build relationships that are grounded in respect, growth, and mutual understanding. You are not defined by the outcome of any single connection, nor are you dependent on anyone else to find fulfillment and happiness. Dating, like any area of life, is an opportunity for growth. Every interaction, every challenge, and every connection provides you with the chance to practice Stoic virtues and cultivate your own emotional strength. You do not need to rush, force, or manipulate relationships. Instead, you can trust that by applying these principles, you will attract the right connections into your life, those that align with your values, foster growth, and contribute to your well-being. As you embrace Stoicism in your approach to love and relationships, remember that the ultimate goal is not to find someone who completes you, but to find someone who complements you, someone with whom you can grow, share, and build a life of mutual respect, understanding, and love. With these Stoic principles in mind, you are not just seeking a partner. You are seeking a meaningful, fulfilling connection rooted in integrity, respect, and self-awareness. Thank you for watching. If these Stoic principles resonated with you and you're ready to bring more peace, strength, and wisdom into your dating life, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset for more empowering insights on personal growth, relationships, and mental resilience. We are all on this journey together. Let's build meaningful connections, grounded in the power of Stoic wisdom. Keep believing in yourself, because your voice and your presence in this world matter. Until next time, stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, your inner strength is your greatest asset.